Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well. Wow, I was going through my Victor playlist, trying to make sure the playlist was put together properly and everything was in there. And I had found a interview that I had done with him that I completely forgot about. Um, One that I've not heard for a year, a half, maybe a year and a half, around there, and listened to it. And I was like, completely forgot about this one. The last time I heard it, I had narrated it because he had sent me um, the file for me to narrate it. But then he came on like a couple months after that and shared it. And that's what we're going to hear right now. Before that, though, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership are in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost you a cent. Click that like button. It takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because honestly, all these things, they really do help this channel to continue to grow and go, and yes, they definitely matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to tonight's bonus, shall we? Victor, how are you?
Victor is great. How's everyone out there?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. I know you're doing good. You sound good. Retirement's been good, I guess, all right?
It's been good to me.
Good.
It has.
Spending time with the family and everything, and just doing well. So that is absolutely awesome.
Yep.
So what is your plan for this evening? What do you got in store for us?
I think I'm going to share a story with you. I'm not sure which one yet. I'm just playing it by my butt, so to speak.
Okay.
I'm just gonna, whichever one comes to my mind and feels best with me tonight.
All right.
I think that's what we'll go with. How's that?
That works for me, and I'm sure that works for everybody else, because when I made the announcement Sunday night, I believe it was Sunday night, everyone was super excited, so.
Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. I got one in mind for you.
All right.
Okay. Let me see. This happened in 2011. It happened in the state of Wisconsin. It was one of those state parks, and it was a drive-in park where you checked in, and it was Labor Day weekend, 2011, and people was checking in left and right, and they wasn't expecting a full house at this particular park, and it was filling up very fast, and they didn't know that they had enough staff on hand to cover everything that they needed to cover. And they had called out to the state and asked for more help, and they didn't have more help to send. Said that it was on their own. And they had 4 officers and 2 part-times at this park. And everything was going well first night. Nothing happened. They had 3 spaces left open. And they had a capacity of 88 places in this park. Never had a lick of trouble in this park. Nothing had ever happened. You know, they'd had some minor run-ins with skunks, and I think they'd said a couple of times they'd even had a bear in there, a time or two. But, you know, it wasn't very often that you even see a bear in Wisconsin. And so, you know, this is a place where there never was any trouble. Let me get me a drink real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
And so there'd never been no trouble in this park. And that first night came off with no hitches, and the next day a couple more came in, and they had left them 1 space open. And the last 2 that came in was in these rather remote locations because nobody wanted them. And that night, both of these families complained about something rocking their campers, and actually told the wardens that they had scratch marks on their campers. Wardens went out and looked at them, and sure enough, about 7 foot up on both campers, you could see where it looked like something had taken a hand and actually scraped their campers. And they said the only thing that could do that would be a bear, but they couldn't figure out why it had done both campers, which is about a half a mile apart, in the 2 remote locations as they was in, and ask them what their nightly routine was, you know, trying to get, did they cook late, what time it happened, and the time frame was, it happened at one about 1:30, and the other one it happened about 2:15, and the distance apart was about, you know, 3/4 of a mile. So they're figuring that maybe it could be a bear, and it could have traveled that distance, you know, in that time frame, and it could have done this. But what would it be trying to get into these campers? And so they said that they would have patrol officers out, you know, the next day and search for it and everything the rest of the day, or that day. They would search for it, see if they could find any sign, because there was no actual footprints that they could find there at the location on account of the ground being hard. So that night, next night came up, and about 11 o'clock, they received a call from one of the campers saying it's back and it's not going away. So there was a female officer on duty, and she jumps in the patrol vehicle, heads out to the location, and gets there, and turns on their lights, everything, so people know it's her that's pulling up. And the man comes out the door and says, "It just left as you pulled up." So she proceeds around the trailer, shining light, trying to see if she could see anything. And she finally picks up a set of eyes. she said they was about 45 yards in the woods. And she said it was about 7 foot off the ground. And she gets on her radio and calls for more wardens to come to the location. And she stays there trying to keep the light on its eyes because it's not moving. And she's trying to stay there and watch it. And just as the other wardens start to pull up, it starts to move away. She can't find its eyes anymore. So she don't know where it's at. She just says that she can't see it anymore. She tells the other wardens what she's seen, and all she could see was its eyes and exactly where it was. So they all go into the woods to the location of where she said the eyes was. And they find the tree, and it was a large pine tree, about 8.5 foot up. All the bark is ripped off the tree, all of it. And they said, well, this is a bear. This is a big bear. And they continue to look around, try to find tracks, but the ground is so hard up there. There's just nothing on the ground that they can find. And they search for about an hour at that location. And they're all still standing around that location. And it's now about 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm doing this out of memory, out of the file. It's about 12:30 or 1 o'clock. They get a phone call. And it's the other remote camper in the other location. And they say that the bear or whatever is at their location, and it's tearing the metal off their trailer. Can they please hurry over there? So they hurry, all of them load up, leave that location, go to the other location, cut their lights before they ever get there, trying to get there and not know. They tell people what they're going to do. Tell them just stay as far away from where they can in the camper. They get to the location, cut their lights before they get there. And they stop several hundred yards short of it and start to walk in. And they can hear it ripping the trailer. So they hurry up, got their guns. A couple of them have shotguns. The rest of them pistols only. And they approach the trailer. And all of a sudden they turn on their lights. And they see this thing at the back corner of the trailer. On the side they're approaching, ripping at the trailer. And they described it as a 8-foot tall dog. Said it had a tail. It had a canine head. And had an upper body like a bodybuilder. That's the description they gave. Said they was afraid to shoot because they didn't know where the people was in the trailer, for sure. And so when they hit it with the lights, it turned and looked at them. They seen it in the lights for maybe 5 to 10 seconds. They all got the description of it. So different ones got different descriptions of it. You know, different points on the description of what each one seen. And it turned, bolted into the brush. The ones with the shotguns, 3 of them went after it, trying to find it in the brush. The other 2 went to the trailer to check on the people. And they got to the people, and they was terrified because it had actually ripped a hole in to the side of the trailer on the back that it could have stuck its head into had it wanted to. But it hadn't tried to enter that way. But they left later that night, left the trailer, and I don't know exactly the details of where they went to. I know they left the trailer there overnight, and as far as I know, it was left for us to do studies on for several weeks. We had it after that, and they never did find it, but they knowed who to call and made a call to us on that night, which was Saturday night. And we had myself and a trainee there midday Sunday. And when we got to the place, they gave us all the details. We looked at the trailer, and I knowed what it was by the description they gave and by the scratches on the trailer and on the other trailer and how it had tore into it. I knew that it was a Dogman. It was a big Dogman too. And so we started tracking. They said, we can't even find a footprint. How are you going to track it? I said, well, it's just something that we know how to do. And they said, well, can we go with you? And I said, no. I said, y'all are out of it now. The hunt's up to us. I said, y'all are not involved any longer. And they didn't really like that. So me and my trainee, we went into the woods, and he was tracking it. And I was watching him, making sure he did everything right. And we tracked it, and it had actually went back to the other trailer that night and left that spot and went around and went into a big, large wet area. Wait here for it to come out. And he wanted to go on in and hunt it in the wet area. And I told him it'd be better if we waited here. I said, it's going to come back. I said, it's going to come back towards that trailer that it didn't tear into. I said, the people there, it's going to come back towards that trailer. And I said, it's going to come back on this same trail. And he said, how do you know that? And I said, they are very predictable. I said, you got to learn that about them. I said, they'll come back. And I said, I guarantee they'll be back. We sat there all that day and all night, not a sign of it. And he said, see, I told you we needed to go after it. I said, we'll wait here. I said, I'm senior. I said, you just listen and try to learn from me. He was fairly newbie, at that time. He was fairly new. And we sat there all day again. We'd rest a little. He'd rest a little. Everything. Next night, full moon. I told him we needed to really get hid because I said these things are super sensitive and can see us really good. So we really got our gear on that night. Really got hid up well. And we was about 10 foot apart, had our earphones in with mics where we could talk back and forth. And for him, it would be his first hunt and kill, because I had him out in front and wanted to make sure I was just covering him. And he was on a little rock point. I don't know how to describe it. It was a rock about 4.5 foot tall, about 2.5 foot wide, and he was behind it, and there was I don't know, another little rock outcropping to the right of it that kind of blinded it from the right side. So if it walked around it, it couldn't see him from the right side, and he was going to be able to blindside it when it came around from that side, and it wouldn't know it was there till it was in his dead sight. There was nothing it would be able to do. He'd have his rifle up and ready, and it would be dead in his sights. Nothing he could do. The Dogman would have nothing he could do to get away from it, unless he froze or something like that happened. And I was 10 feet away, so nothing he could do. If he didn't get him, I would. So we waited. About 3 o'clock in the morning, he whispered, "You hear that?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's him. He's coming. Get ready." I watched him. He raised his rifle, got in position. I was trying to watch up the trail to see if I could see him coming. I couldn't see him coming. And watched, kept hearing it. Couldn't see it. Finally, it sounded like it was right on top of us. And couldn't figure out where it was. Kept hearing it walk and couldn't see it. And the walking just went away, like it went past us. And I said, "They just ain't no way that thing walked past us." And the walking was getting so faint that I turned and looked down the trail going away from us to see if I could see it. And I couldn't see it going away from us. And I said, "Well, there's another trail somewhere." And I whispered to him, I said, "There's another trail." I said, "It's got to be further out in front of us that we can't see." And I said, "I want you to go to your right, get up, go right, and go 20 yards straight away from us. And I'm going to go out to my left. I'm going to go 40 yards and see if I see it going away from us." And I said, "If you see it, shoot." I said, "Don't wait on me. Shoot." And I said, "You go first." And I let him go first where I could watch him and cover him. I watched him move out, watched him through the moonlight, and he moved out there. He stayed low to the ground, and I was watching him the whole time. And he got out there, and he squatted, looked, gave me the signal. "Nothing," he said. He whispered, "Nothing." And I got up and started to move. And I made my first step. And there was this terrible scream. And I froze in my tracks. And I looked back in behind him, and it wasn't 6 yards behind him. it stood up, and it was about 6 yards behind him, and it was fixing to pounce on him, and I had to shoot. I didn't have choice. I had to shoot straight at him, but I had to shoot, and I shot it, and I shot him straight in the neck and took it down, and it was kicking, and I didn't get a good shot on it. And it was a kicking and a screaming. He came up and went one direction, and that was away from it, and he was wide open leaving there. My trainee was leaving there, and he wasn't having no part of staying close to it. And finally I was hollering at him to stop. I said, it's down. It's not going to do anymore. I was trying to tell him to stop, come back. And he finally stopped after he ran about another 45, 60 yards maybe. And we both walked up on it. And I told him, go ahead and shoot it and kill it. And he did. And I gave him the kill on it, but that thing, he had walked right past it. I mean, walked right past it. And it stayed put. And then when I made my move, it stood up and moved on him. And if I hadn't seen it and been as quick as I was back in them days, it would have got him. And but that happened in State Park, and it was an 8'2" Dogman, and weighed nearly 520 pounds.
Wow.
And it was a good sized boy. And it had tore into a trailer. And that's one of the stories that's going to be in the book with pictures. I've got a bunch of pictures from that one. I've actually got the Dogman picture, and I've got the pictures of the trailers, both trailers. And y'all will be surprised when you see the pictures.
Yeah, most definitely. How is the book coming along? Are you? I know you typed out a lot last time we talked.
Do what now?
I said I know you had been working. I knew you wanted to do it every day. That was a lot, back a couple months ago.
Yeah. I've slowed down on it some. I've got, I think I've got 22 chapters done.
Wow.
And I'm going to have, I've decided on 35.
Okay.
For it. So I like 13. And right now I'm trying to do one a week. So I slowed down a little on kind of what the doctor told me to do. And, but that's helped a lot, just slowing down on what I've done.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's helped me.
Yeah, you can definitely tell,
And that's made a big difference in my life.
Yeah.
So, it's not that I don't want to do things, it's that I needed to change in my life, and it's worked. So, I'm not having 7 nights of nightmares now. I'm down to maybe 1 a week, 2 a week, and I'm able to wake myself up out of half of them that I have now, and just have one that's devastating a week. So I've came a long way on the nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, when we first met, during the Q&A, you know, people were asking you how you dealt with them, and you couldn't at that time. And you just sound so much better, you know, honestly. Like, when I talked to you for the first time in a couple of months on Sunday, it was like I talked to somebody completely just revitalized, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's made a big difference in me to back off and slow down on it and not relive it as much as I was.
Right. Right. And like you said, the book, I'm sure the book, pushing that out and typing it and you know, kind of not really reliving it, but reliving it probably helped out a little bit too as well.
Yeah.
That's
But
great.
cutting down on trying to push it through as fast as I wanted to and slowing down on it has helped me a bunch.
Yep.
So
And spending time
it's
with
just
the
going to
family.
take me a little longer to get it done. But I'm proud that I'm getting it done, and it'll be out, you know, a little later than what I'd planned on. But it's coming, and with pictures.
Yep.
I've even got the cover of the book. It's going to have a picture of Sebastian on it.
That's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it, and I know everyone is.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it does well.
I'm sure it will. I really am. I truly feel that. You know, I just comments alone, people are, you know, waiting. People really wanted to hear you again. You know, they respect and love what you got to say. So I'm sure it will do well. When we talked about, you know, I knew it was going to be very long, chapter-wise. You know,
Yeah.
Or do you still plan on breaking it down into the audiobook,
Yeah.
like 4
Yeah,
or
we're
5?
going to break it down in the audiobooks. Probably do 8 chapters at a time on audiobooks. 8, 16, 24. May do 9, 9, 18, 24, 9, 18, 27, 36. May do 9, 9, 9, and whatever's left.
Yep.
In audiobooks. And then may do a second one if the first one does well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and as long as it's helping you too, you know,
Yeah.
mentally is the best part of it, you know. So
Yeah. Just like the doctor said, slow down on it.
Yep. Yep.
He said reliving it every night's not a good thing.
Yeah, because I mean, you were going every night. You were typing.
Yeah.
And just...
Yeah, every night and every day. That's typing. So, but now I'm not. I'm getting out and doing other things, and
well, you know, it's time.
It's a big difference.
You earned the retirement. You earned the time to enjoy your life at this point. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
And I am enjoying it. Trust me, I am. I mean, I've gone fishing. I've hunted a little. I've even played golf.
That would be a very interesting sight to see.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
I'm sure.
I'm still pretty good, considering.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you sounded like when I spoke, like I said, you sounded better, you sounded happier, and you are. You're just, you know, it's great to have you back a little bit, you know, just to hear you talk, and you know, your whole life had been dedicated to this, from being a young man, you know, to, you know, 40 years of fighting these things.
I'm age 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So, well,
Long time.
I don't know when you want to come back, but you're always welcome back. You know that. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of people in the comment section psyched about the book. So, but you're always welcome back, my friend. And is there anything that you want to say to everybody beside the normal of just getting out there?
Or? I just miss coming on as often as I used to, but I've had to do it for myself, and don't think that I don't enjoy coming on, because I love coming on that show, and I truly miss coming on as often as I used to. But I listen to every one of Jeff's shows. It's the only one that I do listen to. And for my sanity, it's I should, according to my doctor, I shouldn't listen to any of them, but I do listen to Jeff's, and I listen to them religiously. I might miss one every now and then, but I catch up on them when I do miss them.
Right.
And I've learned not to miss my job. I miss the excitement, but I don't miss my job anymore. So, I just miss the excitement of it. It's what I miss.
Right.
And it just, I don't know, it's still in me to do it, but, I like 2 weeks after I was retired, I quit. I quit my exercise routine and everything for like a month, and I could tell I was losing muscle tone. I was losing everything. So I had to start back, and it took me the next 2 weeks to get back to where I could do 10 miles. So, I lost being able to run 20-something miles down to 10 miles in a month. So, boy, I know being older takes it out of you quicker, but, man, it took it away from me fast.
Right.
So, I'm back to 10 miles a day running anyway. But, I don't know. It'll come back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a proposition. There's
what's that?
Couple of things, couple of stories that I want to send you to check out.
Okay.
And I'll send them to you. And then we don't need an exact date today. We'll just plan for the future, just, so you can maintain your regimen with the doctor and everything. But I want you to check out these stories, and then I want you to come back, and I'd like to have kind of a discussion with you about a couple of these stories and get your take on what you think, and just kind of bounce things off of each other, if that's something you're interested in.
I'd be glad to.
All right. That sounds like a plan, my friend. Definitely.
Okay.
Well, it's always great having you on, and I'm looking forward to the next show, because I think this will be really good. There's some videos of mine that I want you to listen to again, talk about those, but there's one in particular that I want to have a kind of an open discussion about, and I think it's time that happens. So, but with that, I'm gonna give you the night off, my friend. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, and thank you for coming back, man. I really appreciate it. I do.
Now, thank you, Jeff, for having me on, and I truly enjoyed every time I'm on with you. And thank everybody out there, and everybody go out you're safe out there, people. You're safe. Chances of you meeting one is hundreds of thousands to one. So get out there, enjoy yourself in the wild, and just remember what I said. If you do have an encounter, just do what I said. And if you can't remember, go back and look at these videos, because I told you everything you need to know to stay safe if you do have an encounter.
Very true. Very true.
God bless everybody. Y'all enjoy yourselves out there. Jeff, you have a good night. And for now, I'll say goodbye.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Good night.
Good night.
Wow, that was so good to hear him talk again. I really do miss the days when he first came on the show and shared his experiences and info with us. He still had so much more experiences to share. And, I mean, he really only skimmed the surface with us for the brief time that we had him on the channel. He is definitely missed. Guys, please stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, our pets, our family, and friends. These creatures are real. They are out there. They are dangerous. If we share a little bit of information with the people that we love and care about, it may just save their lives someday. All right, guys. God bless you all.